I have not swum that far since I was a teenager.
Now 700 farmers signed up. So that's 21,000 British school children. We're at a time in British history where never have we been more divorced from the land. In farming, we don't sell ourselves that well. And we've seen this in lockdown. People are stuck at home and they're just trying to grow stuff.
I haven't mentioned Bodie smokes. Do I need to mention Bodie smokes?
And are you going to jump in?
Jump in.
You're going to jump in. But I'll show you when we get down there. I'll show you from down there. Don't worry.
Oh, not from here.
No, not from there. You're okay.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Up yours, as we say in Cambridgeshire.
Yeah. Thank you for that lovely river experience.
That was great, wasn't it?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. Was we left you, and I was sat in my car as you found us, parked behind Sam, and then Sam got out of his car, and I thought, what's he coming to say? To which point he said, Tom's made it very clear that you need a wetsuit. I was like, well, yeah, okay, you told me over the phone. It was fine, we could go short. So then he started the panic, and then I saw the panic in Sam's face, and he said, and you've got to swim for 15 minutes, at which point I was proper panicking, proper panicking, and at the point of bottling it.
When you get in, my brother took me for a very cold swim once, and he said, when you get in, you'll start to panic. But you'll numb off pretty quickly. He said, but what you've got to do is slow your body around and speed your mind up. Your mind's going, oh no, it's so cold, and your body is thrashing about. You just need to slow the movements around. Yep, it's okay. I'm feeling cold right now. Within about 30 to 50 seconds, it'll numb off a little bit, and then I'll be okay. I think you'll be absolutely fine. What we're going to do is we're going to jump in here. You want to jump diagonally out from that corner. So you don't want to jump there because you'll jump onto pretty shallow, and out there is into the weeds. So you want to jump out there, and I always do a little bomb in.
Yes.
You never know what's underneath you. Could be a shopping trolley or anything. And you want to hold your bomb. So when you get into the water, don't go like, oh great, I'm in. Just hold it until you bob up again, okay?
Okay.
Yep. The further out you jump, the better. The more splash you make, the better.
Yeah. Jeez.
So you're just glorious.
You took the bottom? No. Where is it? He's got it.
There we go.
He's got it.
Smiling's taking too much energy. Go on, Tony. That's it.
And then.
You swam for 15 minutes? I thought you were brilliant. I thought you were magnificent.
Thank you. I had a good coach training me down.
Oh, it was great. And you get a real buzz from it, don't you?
Oh, yeah, no, it was... once I got over the fright and you convinced me that I'd survive, it was lovely. To be honest, the first bit, the best bit was that I didn't have to walk in, because that's what I was doing. I nearly joked when we were on the bridge, are we just going to jump in? And I didn't. And then when you said we're going to jump in, it was like, oh.
But if you're sliding, you don't have to get your hair wet.
Yeah, true. But no, I reckon if I'd had to walk in, I would never have made it. But it was that the first jump was actually cool, and it hit me, but it didn't hit me as bad as I thought it was going to hit me.
There was no high-pitched screaming. I thought there would be...
There was a few swear words. I think.
Yeah, there's a bit of language, but I thought there would be just squealing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I am capable of that, actually. I love doing thrill things, but never considered that ever until...
And you really get to see the countryside. I mean, you're in it. You're amongst it. You're not just wandering through. You're really in it. I mean, look at that.
So, I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued. So, you were born on a farm. Mm-hmm. Always a farmer.
Yeah, well, no, farming's my fourth industry I've worked in, really. So, my family are all farmers on both sides, my mum's side and my dad's side. But never... Farming is a bit like being a sports coach or a priest or something like that. You don't just do it because you get rich and famous.
Yeah.
You've got to have a love. You've got to love farming, and so I worked in news and magazines. I worked in business consultancy. I worked in film sales, and the kind of tipping point was in my early 30s, and I thought, I'm just not learning anything more. I feel I'm not expanding my mind. I'm not kind of progressing. But my concern was, you've got to love farming. I knew I'd like it. I knew I love being outside. I love all this, but you've got to love farming as well.
Yeah.
And actually, it was a great step, and I really do love it. But,
so you grew up young on a farm, but then chose to go
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Yeah, I was away for 14, 15 years after university before I came back
okay.
age 35. Yeah, it's a bit cliché. Every day is different, but it's you're really you're riding on your own decisions, for better or for worse. It's you're stewarding the environment, which is fascinating and a real great responsibility, and you're seeing things grow.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've seen this in lockdown. People are stuck at home and they're just trying to grow stuff. There's a real kind of slow buzz, a slow thrill.
Yeah.
It's not like jumping out of a plane, but there's a real enjoyment of planting things and making them grow.
Yeah. No, 100%. And the last year for you, I guess, has felt different, but not maybe as different as it has for me, for example.
Yeah, it's I feel a little bit facetious when I say that the three biggest impacts in my last year are the weather, the world markets, and COVID in that order.
Yeah.
Because the weather's made the big changes we made on the farm. So Joe and I don't use the same vehicles. We spray them down in between use. We're extra careful with hand hygiene. We're very careful in terms of obviously distancing, that kind of thing. But that is small fry compared to the devastation of 2 wet winters or a really wet harvest last year, for example. And so it feels, when the nation's gone through the difficulty the nation has gone through, and we've gone through it with them.
Yeah.
Actually, our bigger challenge has been the weather. So it feels a little bit facetious, kind of saying that. But you feel like you're living every day.
But what's a classic day for you? You're out at what time?
Oh, you see, that's the great thing about being in an industry full of dairy farmers is that the dairy farmers get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and everyone thinks that all farmers get up super early. And so I go for a little jog in the morning, feed the dog, get into work, go and see my dad, have a bit of a cup of tea with him, get a bit of wisdom from him, and
He's still completely hands-on, is he?
A lot more hands off than he used to be.
Okay.
But he loves being active, loves being busy, so he's definitely around the farm a fair bit, and it's great to have that wisdom actually. But he's a great encourager, and that's a really, really, really. Well, you saw that last 100 yards. You needed a bit of encouragement,
and you were very good at it.
And equally.
I think my breathing was very heavy at that point.
Well, like I said, when I said I think I can see the end, I was hoping for you it wouldn't come sooner than it.
I gave up on looking for the end. I just put myself on my back and kicked my feet as hard as I could.
But you need someone, you need a supporter, don't you? So Dad's a great supporter, so I'm very lucky with that.
Yeah, brilliant. No, fantastic. So this side of things, because you're far more used to this than I am. How that came because of what you did pre-farming, was it?
Well, I mean, a little bit. I worked in sales, so I worked in your role at Universal Pictures, sold DVDs into Tesco, and then I sold film rights for the last few years all over the world, which is great. I knew at that point I knew I was coming into farming, and I knew I should take the job where I got to travel because I wouldn't get to travel that much in farming. But I sat in a lot of marketing meetings, and in fact, all the industries I've worked in, I've been in marketing meetings, and actually in farming we don't sell ourselves that well as we could do. We've got the most amazing canvas. People just want to look at that. They want to just take it in, and we get to see it every day, and we get to steward it and impact and look after it. And I think it's part of all our responsibility as farmers to show people what happens the other side of the farm gate, to give people a reason to buy British produce rather than anything else. To buy high welfare, high quality produce versus low quality, for example. Why should I? Well, here's 10 reasons, and I can show you them all. And I'm not here to make up the numbers in any situation. I don't think any of us are. I think sometimes we kind of fall into that, but I'm absolutely not here to make up the numbers. When I knew I was coming back to farming 3 years before I left Universal, I realised I might need a brand. FarmerTime I thought was the brand. Working with young people, they remember you as FarmerTime. They've immediately got you, and you're safe, and you're good fun, and you're approachable. So yeah, and that for me is doing a couple of things. One is helping to educate the next generation.
Yeah.
But also is representing farming to a wider audience. That we're at a time in British history where never have we been more divorced from the land.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't have a living relative in farming. So we are, we as a populace don't have a clue about where our food comes from, and yet we've never been more interested.
No.
Turn the TV on, it's all farms and food and gardening and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're fascinated, and actually all we need to do is just show people, and put a picture on. Today I've also, before you guys got to me, I was doing some variable rate fungicide trials. I thought, I've just thought, how am I going to explain that to people in 60 seconds who aren't farmers? Well, we're trying to make our plant protection product use more efficient. We're trying to be kinder to the environment. We're trying to produce food more safely and efficiently. And actually it's something we can all do. Just say, hey, this is what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
And people are we think people are bored by us.
No.
They're not. People
No.
aren't. They're fascinated by farming. They're fascinated by food. They're fascinated by nature.
My kids would be fascinated.
Yeah.
I know they would be.
Yeah.
It's like I was just my own. As I say, I've got no background in this whatsoever, but I remember being I must have been about 10,
Yeah.
something like that. And my folks, one of their friends' daughter married a Kiwi sheep farmer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when we were about 10, we went on a holiday over there and stayed on his farm. And I'll never,
That's a dream.
I'll never, honestly, it was a dream. And
Yeah.
like, it was a holiday and my folks chilled all day hanging out with Anita. I just got obsessed with David, the farmer.
Yeah.
And I spent every day, the entire week, just
Yeah.
going out with him.
Well, it's good, honest work as well. That's the other thing is it's hard work, but there's the reward of having done stuff. So
Yeah.
and that's why we do Open Farm Sunday. That's why we do FarmerTime. That's why we did Bourne Muckies, because we've got an industry to be proud of. We've actually got a world-leading industry, and you'll know from some of the regulations we have to go through in terms of grain store protection. The hurdles, and I believe rightly so, are as high as anywhere on the planet.
They've got stricter and stricter
Yeah.
and stricter as well. It's
Yeah,
There's
and we can either grumble about it or we can be proud of it. And actually, I think, hey, dear consumer, that's everybody, that's all of us, you and me as well. You can be proud to buy British produce.
Yeah, fantastic. So, being a man, again, I've got to say this because I have no idea about social media, which is why Sam loved it. But so I've spoken to people since I knew I was doing this, and I was meeting Farmer Tom.
Yeah.
So how your background with Universal was what prompted you to do the filming, or was it your partner?
Yeah, a little bit. And I think also it helped me to target that and make it more efficient. So we've got come on, we can have some of them, can't we? Bring the calamari on.
Come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
why
there
not?
we go.
Starters, I didn't want
good
to,
man.
yeah, cheers, guys.
Look at that. I'm really lucky. I spent a lot of time at Universal Pictures, a lot of time learning different transferable skills, influencing, communication, relationship building. But actually, you've got, for me, so I have, I'm not cool enough to be on Snapchat or TikTok.
I don't know. You seem pretty cool today.
No. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube a little bit, but for me it's about knowing who you're talking to as well. So Instagram's a lot more females, a bit younger than Facebook, which is a bit older, still quite female influenced. Twitter's a lot more political,
Yeah.
slightly more male biased. So when I'm posting things, I'm just trying to think about the person that I'm speaking to. But really, I'm just putting pictures up, and the most. The highest amount of engagement you always get is either a picture of my dog, or is something which I feel really passionate about, and I just try and share about it. So it's I think people really want to know farmers.
Yeah.
And I think farmers don't realise that. And I mean, we've been doing FarmerTime, this project, for 4 or 5 years now, and we've got now 700 farmers signed up. So that's 21,000 British school children do a video call once a fortnight to a farmer, to their own paired farmer. It's the same farmer every 2 weeks, so they get to know them and get to trust them. But they're fascinated by it. And frankly, I did a call on Friday with my teacher who I've been paired with for 5 years. I had 5 classes go through, and the children were asking questions. She said, "Actually, can I ask a question?" Because we're all fascinated. We're all fascinated by what we're putting in our mouth. What's going on around us in the countryside. I'm giving a talk to a young farmers club online on Thursday night, and they want me to talk about FarmerTime. Very happy to talk about FarmerTime. Always need more farmers to get involved. Great project. It's free. Takes 10 minutes once every couple of weeks. Really, really important project. Do it. FarmerTime.org. What I'm really passionate about is them communicating, and I've given some talks about on presentation skills.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been trained to give a talk on presentation skills, but that is so important. Is being able to speak to people, is being able to communicate, is having the confidence to go forward when you're not confident. Actually,
Yeah. No.
you know, is
yeah.
to kind of not front it out, but to believe in yourself, to find something, and you know, and bring it to people. And I think that's just. It's invaluable. It's a massive life
Do
skill.
you do events where you go and speak?
Yeah,
You must be
yeah.
guest speakers at events and that sort of thing.
Well, I go and talk about Farmer Time anywhere I possibly
Yeah.
can. You know, I've got my little branding on today.
Yeah.
We're running Farmer Time in Finland, so I've got a little Finnish flag on there. They sent me this from over in Finland, which is, it's amazing. We started at our farm 5 years ago, and yes, it's 21,000 British school children doing it, 700 UK farmers and teachers. But there's also, you know, it's running in Finland, Sweden, Ireland, Australia. We're piloting it in Denmark, in America,
Wow.
and it's a bit of technology you and I both have in our pockets, a smartphone,
Yeah.
and we can all communicate.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people producing music videos or films who are terrified because now every man and his dog can produce video footage. We can do that. And my video is better than theirs because I've got all this around behind me.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've got the British countryside, which is the star of the show.
Sam, do you want to say something?
No, I'm happy with that.
How are we going to round up? How are we going to finish up?
It?
But it's,
I haven't mentioned
we gonna
Vody Smokes. Do I need to mention Vody Smokes?
The product.
Is this a promotion of our products? It's
no,
not.
more just an engagement.
It isn't, is it? That's not what the point of a podcast
You
is.
know, Lodi, you guys. My wife was saying earlier today. You know what a great bunch they are. And this is not a stage-led question.
no, thank you.
But how do you bring that about? What's the Lodi difference? Because you are
We
different
just-
to other companies that I've
Yes,
dealt with. You're
we-
different.
And every
You're-
company will tell you we're different to them as well. We just have a different persona. We look at
Yeah.
things differently. We work off a relationship. The whole motto of us,
Yeah,
if
but
you
you do
like,
that.
is
I think
relationship.
in my small experience, you do that so much more than other companies. You
We're not-
say
we're
we're
not-
different, we love people, but
we're
you
not-
actually walk the walk as well.
You're just not.
Where's that
It's
come from? Does
funny,
it come from the boss?
It's yes, ultimately, and it's.
And if he
it's-
said get in that river, you'd get in that
No,
river.
I don't. To be honest, if I hadn't been locked up for a year, I don't think I would have got in that river. But I'm not turning down any sort of opportunity to get out of the
Right.
moment, and I'm so pleased I did. But yeah, no, it's our way is be confident in ourselves.
Yeah.
And if people like you, people will continue to deal with you, and that's always been our way, always.
Oh well, take my hat off for you. You guys
Yeah,
do
no,
a great,
no,
you do a
well,
great job.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
Cheers. You're going to get me another
Yeah,
beer,
you've
aren't
got
you?
no beer. Let's get Tom a beer.